Welcome to the 2020 SBE National Membership Meeting and Awards presentation. This webcast is brought to you by the generous financial support of these SBE sustaining members. Blackmagic Design, leading the creative video revolution. Comark. Comark provides DTV transmitters, encoding, and integration for ATSC 3.0. Dielectric. Trusted for decades, ready for tomorrow. JamPro, when you want more than just an antenna. Catron, unique experience, individual solutions, reliable performance. Multicam systems, easy to use, ready to produce. Shively, supporting FM broadcasters for more than 50 years.
Well, hello and welcome to this special presentation of the 56th SBE Annual Membership Meeting and the National Awards presentation. The COVID pandemic has changed the way we do many things in life, and like other in-person events, we are conducting this meeting solely online tonight. I welcome all of you wherever you may be. As the title of this program suggests, we will be conducting our annual membership meeting and then present this year's SBE National Awards. Both are condensed to keep the entire program to approximately 90 minutes. We're also pleased to have with us today Chris Emley, our General Counsel of 40 years from Silver Spring, Maryland. Chris, please give us a wave. I would also like to take this opportunity to introduce members of the National SBE staff who work on our behalf each and every day. Database Manager, Scott Jones. Sustaining Member Manager, Debbie Hensley. Frequency Coordination Manager, R.J. Russell. Education Director, Kathy O'Rose. Member Communications Director, Chris Shearer. Certification Director, Megan Clapp, and Executive Director, John Perret. We know that a number of our past national presidents are tuning in today. We recognize all of them and we thank them for their service. As mentioned, the COVID has changed our life, and we've all developed, I think, a love-hate relationship with Zoom or whatever our favorite conferencing platform may be. Many national events and local chapters have turned to Zoom to stay in touch with their members. There's always a bright side to these situations because we have seen an increased participation in the chapter meetings that are conducted now online. Earlier, I certainly recognized our SBE staff, but I'd like to call attention, a little more attention to this staff that represents well over 125 years of experience. With the somewhat hectic and uncertain times, things at SBE remain normal thanks to our SBE staff. The phone is answered, the mail is processed. Yes, you can order that favorite SBE swag or bookstore items. And if we think about the three core services of SBE, education, frequency coordination, certification, all of those events are occurring. Certification exams are happening. Yes, maybe the exam environment is slightly different based upon the COVID restrictions, but they're still happening. Frequency coordination activity continues. And of course, our educational effort continues primarily with our webinars, where we have seen increased participation and increased use of the Member Plus membership to make those webinars affordable. Certainly, there's a lot of activity that has occurred behind the scenes this year. Before, I've spoken of the rebuild or refresh of the SBE website. I'm proud to say that the new website will launch on October the 1st. Also, you can look to a new technical training program, the SBE Technical Professional Training Program, which is an effort to combine certification and educational resources oriented at someone new to the broadcast engineering profession. program will launch in January 1. A major task that the board faced before the COVID diversion came along was when John Perret announced his retirement. Of that 125 years, of course, we'll lose his 28 years of experience with that. In order to address that, we formed a search committee early this year. That committee was chaired by Joe Selson, who of course is a past president of the SBE, Jim Leifer, the immediate past president, Andrea Cummins, the vice president, and Chris Imlay, our general counsel, and myself. And I certainly want to recognize the work of that search committee over the past 9 months, and a special thanks to Joe Snelson for his leadership in spearheading that committee. The committee concluded their work last night as a candidate was presented to the Board of Directors during our Board of Director meeting. That board approved that recommended candidate, and I am pleased to introduce to you Jim Ragsdale. Jim will bring to SBE a 30-year experience base in business, nonprofit, and higher education. He has a strong management or financial management background and a track record of ensuring that organizations achieve financial sustainability. He is committed to authentic transparency, integrity, and a collaborative environment with a leadership style that emphasizes earning trust and empowering the teams by identifying and developing the strength of each individual member. I welcome Jim as the Executive Director on January the 1st as we begin 2021. Now on to our required business of the evening. Please welcome SBE Secretary Kevin Trueblood, who will deliver his report.
Since the membership meeting last October in Madison, Wisconsin, the Society of Broadcast Engineers conducted executive committee meetings on January 25th in Orlando, Florida, and on June 20th via Zoom. The full board met on April 24th and again last night on Zoom. The next meeting of the executive committee will take place in December, tentatively set for Indianapolis on a date to be announced. The full board is scheduled to meet again in the spring of 2021 at a date to be announced in light of the NAB show being rescheduled. SBE membership on June 30th, 2020 was 4,769. This year through August, 360 new members have joined the society. The society has 115 chapters with 113 in the United States and 2 in Hong Kong. Members are located in every U.S. state, the U.S. Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, Guam, and 18 other countries. The society conducted the annual election of 6 of the 12 directors for the National Board of Directors and all 4 officers this past summer, concluding August 19th. Those elected will be inducted during this meeting. Mr. President, that concludes my report.
All right, thank you, Kevin. I do appreciate your work to keep the record of our national board meetings and activities. Now, please welcome our treasurer, Ted Hand, with his report.
At the end of August 2020, SBE had a total assets of $1,550,107. SBE assets include $1,538,220 in bank and investment accounts. The remaining assets consist of $11,887 in office of furniture, equipment, and intangible assets. SBE has no debt. Thus far in 2020, SBE has experienced gains in long-term investments and operating revenue that exceeds expenses. Through August 30th, SBE's had a net revenue of all sources of $339,150, which was more than $120,000 above budget. SBE savings per the Society Board-approved financial policy are designated to maintain financial stability, revenue production, capital improvements, projects that benefit the Society's membership, and rainy day needs. Mr. President, this concludes my report.
All right, thank you, Ted. It's great to see that the SBE finances are in such great shape, especially as we live in these uncertain times. To bring us an update on this year's membership drive, here's Membership Committee Chair Steve Brown.
The annual membership drive began March 1st and concluded on May 31st. The theme was Going, Growing, Knowing. Join the SBE. 13 companies and the SBE donated prizes as an incentive to recruiters. The drive resulted in 27 new members, and they were sponsored by 24 current members. The sponsors represented 21 different chapters. From all the recruiters, one member's name was drawn for the grand prize, which was a trip to this year's SBE national meeting. Unfortunately, with the cancellation of the national meeting, the trip couldn't happen, but our winner, Paul Easter of Rosenberg, Texas, received the alternate prize of $500. Of the 21 chapters represented by recruiters, we recognize 3 of them tonight with the Golden Recruiter Award. Like other chapter awards, there are 2 classes that represent chapter membership above and below the chapter median membership. For Class A chapters with membership less than the median, there was a tie. The Golden Recruiter Award goes to both Chapter 107, Charleston, South Carolina, and Chapter 134, Beaumont, Texas, Lake Charles, Louisiana. For Class B chapters with membership greater than the median, the Golden Recruiter Award goes to Chapter 105 of Houston, Texas. Congratulations to all our winners and new members. To make it a point to invite a colleague to become the member of the SBE. New members are welcome any time of the year. Wayne, back to you.
All right, Steve, thank you for that report, and a special congratulations to Paul Easter. The SBE is supported by almost 100 companies that provide products and services to the broadcast community. Many of them have been supporting the SBE for more than 25 years. And tonight, I'm proud to recognize that one of those companies has reached its 25 years point of sustaining membership. I am pleased to recognize Dielectric. Keith Pelter is the voting member.
Thank you, Wayne. Dielectric is very privileged to be receiving this 25-year Continuous Sustaining Member Award from the SBE. When you look at the SBE, 3 traits come to mind. The strong educational programs that they put on are so important for the future generations of broadcast engineers. Secondly, they recognize and encourage members, which is critical in advancing technology. On the television side, we think of NextGen, and on the radio side, iBach Digital Radio. The SBE also has a very large voice in the industry. When you look at longevity, Dielectric and SBE are 2 organizations with over a century in the broadcast industry. We are very pleased to be receiving this award, Wayne, and we also look forward to receiving a 50-year award, at which point, hopefully, you're not receiving a message from me. Thanks again, Wayne. Back over to you.
All right, thank you very much, Keith, for you and Dielectric's support over the years, and also to all of our sustaining members for your support. This year, the Ennis Educational Foundation Trust increased the number of scholarships awarded from 4 to 5, and also increased the monetary amounts from $1,500 to $2,500 for each of those scholarships. The recipients were chosen from among applications received over a 12-month period ending July the 1st of 2020. We're pleased to recognize those winners tonight. The Harold E. Ennis Scholarship recipient is Chris Gamlin of Middleton, Connecticut. The Robert Greenberg Scholarship has been awarded to John Sinnell of Albertson, New York. The John H. Madison SBE Founders Scholarship has been awarded to Ismail Otu, CRO, CTO of Charlotte, North Carolina. Isaiah Dickinson of Brookhaven, Pennsylvania has received the Youth Scholarship, and the new Gino Riccadelli Scholarship has been awarded to Sadie Levy of New York City. We congratulate all of these recipients and wish them the best as they pursue their careers in broadcast and media technology. The SBE is in year 4 of its mentor program. The program is open to all SBE members and is free. This year, 37 mentors are working with 33 mentees from across the U.S. Mentees and their mentors are able to take advantage of quarterly special SBE webinars that are produced just for the mentor program, and they receive a monthly mentor program newsletter. Participants have said how the program has benefited equally both the mentee as well as the mentor. National Board member Chris Tarr of Chapter 28 in Milwaukee is the chair of the Mentor Committee. Each year, the SBE encourages all chapters to recognize one of their own with the SBE Chapter of the Engineer Year Award. The National SBE provides a plaque for the chapter to present and publishes photos of each recipient in an issue of the Signal. In 2020, 7 chapters selected recipients, and today we are sharing the names of the recipients with you. First, we have Chapter 15, New York City, Louis Libben. Chapter 16, Seattle, Washington, Michael Brooks, CBRE. Chapter 17, Minneapolis, Harold Sheridan, CPB, CB&T. Chapter 37, District of Columbia, Dave Kolsar, CBT, CB&T. Chapter 38, El Paso, Texas, No Rodriguez Jamez. Chapter 70, Northwest Ohio, James Jordads. Chapter 80, Fox Valley, Martin Jury. We congratulate all of these members and encourage other chapters to participate next year and recognize a local member for their contributions and their achievement. To bring us up to date on the latest with the SBE certification program, please welcome Certification Committee Chair Ralph Hogan.
The last 7 months have been interesting getting individuals certified during the pandemic. When the NAB show was canceled and stay-at-home orders were given, we had to create a new plan for administering certification exams. Luckily, a lot of what is done in the office is already remote-enabled, as we rely a great deal on our volunteers throughout the United States. We let volunteers and examinees know that first and foremost they needed to be safe and feel comfortable during the exam. After that, they can schedule their exam based on their county or city rules. Taking precautions during the exam sessions have gone well, and we will continue to take precautionary steps for testing in the future. The ATSC-3 specialist exam is still being fine-tuned. We know that a number of engineers and managers are beginning to implement ATSC-3 into their stations. This certification will be very helpful for understanding some of the various options of next-gen TV. There will be an announcement as soon as the application has opened up for submissions. And finally, thank you very much to our National Certification Committee and local certification chair volunteers. We could not run this program without you. This concludes my report.
Thank you, Ralph, and thank you for your continued work on the SBE certification program. To keep pace with the changes in technology, it is important for all of us to take advantage of continuing education opportunities, as a successful broadcast engineer is always learning. One of the primary purposes of the SBE is to provide opportunities to our members that help to increase knowledge within the broadcast and multimedia field. We do this through the efforts of our local chapters and through the National SBE office. Here is an update on the Society's National Education Program from Gary Morrill, Chair of the SBE Education Committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Education Committee is proud to report a substantial increase in participation of its live and on-demand webinars. Through August of 2020, a total of 1,402 live webinars and 2,269 archive webinars were viewed for a total of 3,671. This compares with a year ago when 2,924 webinars were viewed over the same period, a 26% increase. This is the third year of the SBE Member Plus membership option, which provides access to all SBE live and archived webinars for one price. In 2020, these two new webinar series were introduced, a Wireshark webinar series as well as an AOIP webinar series. The RF201 webinar series also continues. As of the end of August 2020, SBE has offered a total of 16 new webinars, with 3 additional on the calendar this fall. A total of 18 new webinars were offered in 2019. The 2020 Ennis Workshop schedule kicked off in January in South Carolina on January 30th. Due to the pandemic, Ennis workshops were postponed for El Paso, Atlanta, New Orleans, and Minnesota. This year's Leadership Development course was rescheduled for June 8th through the 10th of 2021 at the Hyatt Atlanta South. Rodney Vanderveer, a professor of organizational leadership and supervision at Purdue University, will again present. This concludes my report.
Well, thank you, Gary, for that report, and thank you for your work as well as the committee's work in our professional development efforts. Over the past year, I've been honored to work with a dedicated group of volunteers on the board of directors. Each of them has served the society with dedication and distinction. These 17 members of the board come from across the U.S. In their full-time jobs, they work at radio and TV stations, station groups, and are for industry manufacturers. As I introduce you, please give us a wave so that we may recognize you. Serving as directors, Steve Brown, Appleton, Wisconsin. Roz Clark, Clearwater, Florida. Mark Falig, Walnut Creek, California. Kirk Harnack, Nashville, Tennessee. Chad Kyler, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and Vinny Lopez, Syracuse, New York, Tom McGinley, Missoula, Montana, Gary Morrow, Saginaw, Michigan, Jason Ornelius, Sacramento, California, Chris Tarr, Muckawanago, Wisconsin, Shane Toven, Laramie, Wyoming, Dan Wheely, Waterloo, Iowa. Serving as officers this year were Treasurer Ted Hand of Charlotte, North Carolina, Secretary Kevin Trueblood of Estero, Florida, Vice President Andrea Cummis, West Orange, New Jersey, and finally, our immediate past president, Jim Leifer of Boston. All of these directors and officers have contributed tremendously over the past year, and I thank each of you for your dedicated service. At the close of this meeting, Vinny Lopez will be completing his term as a director. Vinny, we thank you for your service on the National SBE Board, which has spanned many years, including 2 years as the SBE National President. Your contributions have been many and have helped to advance the society. Again, a sincere thank you. The national election of national directors and officers was conducted this past summer. More than 1,100 ballots were cast by members. I invite SBE General Counsel Chris Emily to preside over the installation of our new directors and officers. Chris?
Thank you, Wayne. It's my honor and it's always a privilege to preside over the induction of our incoming officers and directors. Please welcome the following members who were elected in August to 2-year terms as directors: Steve Brown, Roz Clark, Kirk Harnack, Tom McGinley, Shane Toven, and Fred Willard. Gentlemen, you're each about to begin a period of volunteer service as a member of the Board of Directors of the Society of Broadcast Engineers. Please raise your right hands as I administer the oath of office. As a member of the Board of Directors of the Society of Broadcast Engineers, do you promise to follow and uphold its bylaws and canons of ethics, to represent all SBE members, and otherwise fulfill the responsibilities of a member of the Board of Directors to the best of your ability? And if so, please respond by saying, I will.
I will.
I will.
I will.
Thank you. Congratulations to all of you. Now, Andrea Kumis, Kevin Trueblood, and Ted Hand, you each have been elected by the membership of the Society of Broadcast Engineers to serve the Society for a second one-year term as Vice President, Secretary, and Treasurer, respectively. Please raise your right hands as I administer the oath of office. As an officer of the Society of Broadcast Engineers, do you promise to follow and uphold its bylaws and canons of ethics, to represent all SBE members, and otherwise fulfill the responsibilities of your office to the best of your abilities? And if so, please respond by saying, I will.
I will.
Thank you, and congratulations to each of you. Finally, Wayne Pacina, you have been elected by the membership of the Society to serve as its president for a second one-year term. Please raise your right hand as I administer the oath of office. Do you, Wayne M. Pacina, promise to fulfill the responsibilities and duties of the office of President of the Society of Broadcast Engineers, to follow and uphold its bylaws and canons of ethics, to represent all SBE members, and otherwise fulfill the responsibilities of President of the SBE to the best of your ability? And if so, please respond by saying, I will.
I will.
Thank you, and congratulations, Wayne, and to all those elected to serve. This concludes the induction, and Mr. President, I return the podium to you with my gratitude.
Thank you, Chris. I am honored to have been elected to serve as your president for a second term. In addition to the officers and 6 directors just inducted, 6 other directors will begin serving the second year of their 2-year terms today, and I would like to recognize them. Mark Fehlig, Charles or Chad Kyler, Gary Marl, Jason Ornelius, Chris Tarr, Dan Wheely. Completing the board is the immediate past president, Jim Leifer. The group assembled before you has made the commitment to serve our membership by leading the society. I look forward to working with them over the next year as we work to continue to provide our members with services and programs that develop professional knowledge, relationships, and strengthen their careers. Election to the board means a commitment to work throughout the year, not only at meetings of the board, but in between those meetings and by serving as a committee chair or a committee member. At this time, I would like to announce the National Committee Chairs for the 2021 term. When I introduce you, please raise your hand so we may recognize you. Awards Committee, Tom McGinley. Bylaws Committee, Chad Kyler. Certification Committee, Ralph Hogan. Chapter Liaison Committee, Mark Fehlig. Education Committee, Gary Marl. Electronic Communications Committee, Dan Wheely. Fellows Committee, Troy Pennington. Finance Committee, Roz Clark. Frequency Coordination Committee, Ted Hand. Government Relations Committee, Kevin Trueblood. International Committee is Luzetta Izbesheva. Membership Committee, Steve Brown. Mentoring Committee, Chris Tarr. Nominations Committee, Roz Clark. Publications Committee, Jason Ornelius. Social Networking Committee, Kirk Harnack. Sustaining Membership Committee, Fred Willard. And the Technologies Committee, Shane Tovin. I have also appointed directors Roz Clark and Gary Morrow to serve on the SBE Executive Committee for the next year, joining the officers, immediate past president Jim Leifer, and myself. My thanks to all of you for taking these responsibilities for the coming year. Each assignment offers an important opportunity to meet our mission of making the Society of Broadcast Engineers an important contributor to the professional lives of our members. Now, it's a pleasure that we turn to the award portion of our program, normally presented at the SBE National Awards Dinner. We didn't want to delay the recognition of these individuals or organizations that they deserve, so tonight we will present those in our virtual format. Since 1989, SBE has recognized outstanding achievement and volunteer service by our members and chapters with the SBE National Awards. We applaud the dedication of individual members and the chapters that work to make the field of broadcast engineering and the SBE stronger and more effective. Recognizing that achievement is an important part of the mission of SBE. Tom McGinley, a member of the National Board of Directors, chaired the awards committee, and we thank him and his committee for their work. Award winners were selected from nominations received by the committee. These awards recognize the work and achievement of individuals and chapters that occurred from June the 1st, 2019 through May 31st of 2020. Some award categories recognize 2 chapters based on their size. Class A represents those chapters whose membership is equal to or less than the national median in 2019 of 29 members, while Class B are those chapters which have more than 30 members. Recognizing the chapters with the highest percentage of members holding SBE certification, most certified chapter, Class A, Chapter 115, Southern Idaho, Chapter Chair Tom Kedwig. Most certified chapter, Class B, Chapter 131, Inland Empire, California, Chapter Chair James Alexander, Chapter Certification Chair Paul Claxton. Recognizing the chapters with the greatest membership growth by percentage, Class A Chapter 106, Florida Panhandle, Chapter Chair Mark Johnson. Class B, Chapter 103, Nashville, Tennessee, Chapter Chair James Campbell. Recognizing the highest chapter meeting attendance average, Chapter A, or Class A, Chapter 112, Western Wisconsin, Chapter Chair Todd Schurditz. Recognizing the chapter with the highest chapter meeting attendance average in Class B is Chapter 89, Alamo area, Texas, Chapter Chair Chris Anderson. The award for winning the best regional or local education event is presented to Chapter 37, Washington, D.C. for their Next Generation TV Summit. Chapter Chair is Eric Hahn, and Summit Chair is Fred Willard. On behalf of the Society, we congratulate all of these chapters for their outstanding achievements. This portion now of our SBE National Awards presentation recognizes special achievements by individual members and one of our sustaining member companies. The SBE Technology Award recognizes an SBE sustaining member, company, or an individual member that has created or used technology to advance the art and science of broadcast engineering. Tonight, we present the 2020 SBE Technology Award to Multicam Systems for their AirBridge product. It is a new video solution for including remote guests in shows or conferences. Up to 4 guests can be live at the same time, and up to 12 guests can be in a waiting room list. Users send a link to the guest. Once that link is open, the guest is connected to the show with the host's permission. Accepting the award tonight is Stan Walbert, President of Multicam Systems.
Thank you. This is such an honor for Multicam Systems to receive an SBE award for AirBridge remote video broadcasting product. The SBE is one of the most highly respected engineering organizations, and this means a great deal to us for receiving this technical innovation award. Multicam is an innovative developer of video solutions, and especially fully automated system or just easy to use solution. And this year we innovated more than ever. With AirBridge, the goals were simple: allowing broadcasters to have full control of the video and audio quality of their remote guests. And we developed that prior to the pandemic. We see AirBridge as part of our strategy to offer solutions for broadcasting without borders. And just wait until you see what we are coming next.
Thank you, Stan, and congratulations to you as well as Multicam Systems. We have a special award that we are presenting this evening. This is an award that doesn't get presented very often. That is the John H. Battison Lifetime Achievement Award. The award was established to pay tribute to individuals for their dedication, lifelong achievement, and outstanding contribution to broadcast engineering. To be eligible, the career length of the recipient must be at least 40 years. Born into a broadcast family in Duluth, our recipient, Mark Persons, has lived his entire life in Minnesota. He followed his dad, an engineer in the early days of radio, into the business. Mark started turning transmitter knobs more than 60 years ago. While reaching the rank of sergeant in the United States Army from 1967 to 1969, Mark was in charge of an avionics repair shop for the OV-1 Mohawk high-tech surveillance aircraft used in Vietnam. After his military service, he spent the next 10 years with KVBR Radio in Brainerd, Minnesota, where he became chief engineer. In 1977, he opened his own radio engineering consulting business, which he operated for the next 40 years. He married his wife Paula in 1978, and she became instrumental in running the business side of the business. Mark has been a respected engineer in the upper Midwest his entire career. He has built 12 commercial AM and FM radio stations, rebuilt, upgraded, maintained, and repaired countless other stations for his clients. He has endeavored to share his knowledge and experience with others in the field by writing more than 140 articles that have appeared in industry magazines and publications, and making more than 25 presentations at industry conventions, conferences, and meetings. Mark joined the SBE in 1981 and is now a life member. He holds 3 SBE certifications, including the highest level, the Certified Professional Broadcast Engineer. Outside of his broadcast engineer, Mark is a member of the American Legion, the VFW, and Disabled American Veterans. He enjoys amateur radio through his call sign W0MH and photography. Retired several years ago, he and Paula are mentoring younger broadcast engineers in his way of giving back to the industry that kept him employed for over 50 years. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure for his long-standing dedication to broadcast engineering profession and the SBE to present the John H. Battison Lifetime Achievement Award to Mark Persons, CPBE, AMD, CBNT of Brainerd, Minnesota. Mark, I invite you to make some brief comments on the acceptance of this award.
Thank you very much. And oh, by the way, I knew John Battison when he was alive. This really was a lifetime experience for me. Oh my gosh, it's showing up behind me. I never had a plan B. I was always going to be a broadcast engineer, and that's exactly how it came out. And I want to continue to contribute to the Society of Broadcast Engineers. Thank you. Amazing.
Amazing. Mark, I might add to our audience that Mark was not aware of this award. Thankfully, our staff pulled out a pretty good ruse that Mark thought he was here to help congratulate the award winner this year rather than being the recipient himself. So we thank Paula for her help in presenting of the plaque, which we even deferred, I think, through a neighbor to get it delivered to you. So Mark, sincere congratulations to you on this award.
Thank you very much. It's gratifying that that I can be recognized this way because it's a way of life. Broadcast engineering has been my life, and it should be the lives of everyone else who is involved in the organization. I really believe in it. Thank you.
All right. Again, a sincere congratulations, Mark, and thank you. The James C. Woolman SBE Educator of the Year Award recognizes an individual each year who has shared knowledge and expertise with others throughout the classroom. As an author of articles or books, or as a seminar instructor or leader, the award's namesake, Jim Woolman, was National SBE President from 1973 to 1975 and is regarded the father of the SBE certification program. It is in its 45 years, SBE certification has become the preeminent measure of technical knowledge and competence and experience within the broadcast industry. This year, we are pleased to present the award to two individuals. The first goes to a previous award winner, Fred Bumgardner, CPBE, CBNT, who received the award in 2009. Fred has been an SBE member for 47 years and has given countless hours to furthering the education of today's broadcast engineer through his work with the Ennis Educational Foundation Trust. For 17 years, he spearheaded the annual Ennis Workshop during the NAB show in Las Vegas, and more recently produced the full-day SBE Next Gen TV tutorial at the 2019 PBS TechCon that featured 35 speakers. Fred is the director of Next Generation TV implementation for One Media Sinclair. He is a member of SBE Chapter 48 in Denver, Colorado. It is my pleasure to present the SBE James C. Woolman Educator of the Year Award to Frederick Bumgardner of Elizabeth, Colorado.
You know, like most of us, I have no explanation for why I, or we, have so much curiosity surrounding the art and science of broadcasting to the world. You know, calling this edification makes it sound like work, and I don't feel like any of learning about this magic is drudgery. I know my goal was to learn everything there was to know about broadcasting. I believe in my early career, I came very close. But then the world of broadcasting began to expand faster than I could experience it. And that was the lesson. Anything worth learning about opens more doors to more experiences and more learning and more curiosity. I am grateful that you let me participate in SBE's educational effort. Like my co-recognizee and more than one mentor, I started my career as a classroom teacher. I was lucky enough to teach electronics at a school with an FM station, Wisconsin's Burlington School District's WBSD. When I started working in broadcasting full-time, it was the SBE's affinity for learning that allowed me to do so many things and go to so many places. And honestly, whenever there was something new or fascinating and this student was ready, helping arrange Ennis programs with people like Kathy gave me and you the opportunity to recruit the very best of teachers. I need to say thank you to Jim Williman, who I believe came from Milwaukee to Madison on horseback in a December snowstorm nearly 40 years ago to evangelize certification, and afterwards told me to stop whining about my perceived shortage of educational opportunity and come help make it better. I don't think anyone could say no to Jim. Thank you for those who mentored me. It's a very long list. I doubt any other profession shares their knowledge and their insight the way broadcast engineers do. And of course, Jody, who for 42 years now has enabled and endured a life of late night trips to transmitters and long absences for projects and events. Thank you for this recognition. It is very much appreciated, and I am very humbled.
Thank you, Fred, and again, a sincere congratulations on your award. Our second recipient tonight is Roland Robertson, CBTE, CTO, CB&T, who has been a member for 24 years. Roland is an instructor of broadcasting and video production at Bates Technical College in Tacoma, Washington. Robertson has taught at Bates for more than 10 years, implementing an SBE-approved certification curriculum in his broadcast classes. The curriculum was recently renewed by the SBE National Certification Committee. Members of the committee were impressed by the curriculum presented by Robertson in his classes. Robertson also serves on the Washington State Emergency Communications Committee, or SECC, and provides a valued service to Washington State broadcasters by creating and maintaining the complex required monthly test schedule. He is a member of SBE Chapter 16 in Seattle. I am pleased to present the SBE James C. Williman Educator of the Year Award to Roland Robertson, CBTE, CTO, CB&T of Tacoma, Washington.
Thank you, Wayne. It's a real honor and privilege to be named the Co-National Educator of the Year for SBE, along with Fred, and congratulations to you, Fred. I was really honored to have my name put aside Fred's name. I've known about Fred for quite a while. I actually use some of his resources in my classroom, a book that he's written I use as a textbook, some video that he's produced on FCC inspections I used for quite a while in my classroom, and so I think that's very appropriate. When I learned that this was a shared award, I thought that was really great because it's reflective of what this award really means to me. It reminded me that what I am being honored and recognized for is really something I don't personally deserve. It's something that all the people in my life that have worked with me from the very beginning of when I got into broadcasting and then ultimately into education, it's really what other people have done to help me, and I could do none of this on my own. So that just the fact that this is a shared award, I think, is really significant and represents that very well. I would like to thank a couple people for helping me along the way, and the first, of course, is my wife, who has been supportive every step along the way and whom I could do nothing without. I'm very appreciative and thankful to her. Also to the administration at Bates Technical College and the way that they support our students and support our program, specifically Josh Clearman, our dean, for his help and for his encouragement to think outside the box and find ways to get things done. Really, really valuable to us, to me. Also to our advisory committee, who is made up of a group of industry individuals who donate their time to give us guidance on what we should do with our curriculum, directions we should go. Super valuable to us. And also to our local SBE chapter, who again is very supportive of our program here at Bates, of me individually, and they host meetings for our students, encourage our students, advise our students, and their input into what we do, really important. I also want to thank the people in the Seattle-Tacoma market who are working in broadcasting, that are opening up their facilities to our students, that are providing seminars, sharing their knowledge and their skills, internship opportunities, and ultimately employment for our students. Very important. And what I want to say in closing is that I encourage all of you broadcasters to continue to support educational programs in your area with your knowledge, and by hosting tours and by hosting internships, and ultimately, of course, by hiring students into the industry. It's what students go to school for, and you provide that avenue for them by all of that activity. So thank you for doing that, and please continue to do that. With that, I again want to say thank you so much for this honor, and we'll send it back to Wayne.
All right, Roland, again, thank you and congratulations for your award. The Robert W. Flanders SBE Broadcast Engineer of the Year Award recognizes an individual who has made significant contributions to broadcast engineering and has furthered the goals of the Society. Robert Flanders served for many years as the Director of Engineering at WRTV Television in Indianapolis, and from 1971 to 1973 served as the Society's 5th president. It was during this time he took steps to make vast improvements to professionalize the operations of the SBE, moving those operations to Indianapolis and hiring the Society's first employee, his own secretary, to keep membership records. In the mid-1960s, he was also instrumental in creating the forerunner of the SBE Leadership Development Course, which continues today. Our recipient this year is Robert R.J. Russell. R.J. has been a member for 21 years and has served as a director, a treasurer, and the vice president of the National Board of Directors. R.J. has held officer positions in various local chapters where he has resided, and currently is a member of Chapter 18 in Philadelphia. He is a Marine Corps veteran where he served as a crypto technician. After service in the military, he worked at stations owned by Media General, Sinclair, Cordelia, Catamount, Sunbound, Univision, EW Scripps, and Fox. RJ worked as a broadcast engineering manager on the Sprint Nextel project from 2004 to 2008, where he assisted many television stations with the 2 gigahertz repack and reimbursement program. While employed by Brigham Young University, RJ was instrumental in the design and construction of a new 100,000 square foot BYU Broadcast Center and the associated transmission paths and signals. RJ has spent countless hours working on the ATSC-3 project station in Cleveland, Ohio. In 2019, through his company, Technical Broadcast Solutions Incorporated, he accepted the critically important position of SBE Frequency Coordinating Manager as an independent contractor. His knowledge of frequency coordination serves him well as the SBE's primary technical representative to the Department of Defense and its contractors, and the NAB in the SBE DoD NAB Spectrum Sharing Project. He is presently overseeing the preparation of a national database of 2 gigahertz users that will facilitate the work of SBE frequency coordinators. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to award the 2020 Robert W. Flanders SBE Engineer of the Year Award to Robert R.J. Russell, CPBE of Middleton, Delaware.
Thank you, Wayne. Truly a humbling honor to be awarded the Engineer of the Year Award this year. Completely speechless in the way I feel about this honor, and knowing that my peers have recognized me for the work and service that I've put into our industry. I want to apologize for the casual appearance today, but as we know, this is a 24/7, 365 industry, and I'm currently in the field getting the transmitter up and running, so didn't necessarily have a shirt and tie with me today. I want to thank everybody that's been involved in my engineering career and gotten me to this point, starting out with my days at WNCN and Sim Connor, Matt Brandis, and my dearly departed friend Russell Mizell. to those that have helped me in my later years of my career, Dennis Wallace, Chuck Britt, numerous others. And I want to thank my family. They've been through a lot to get me this point in my career. My lovely wife Sherry and my children Christina and Matthew, and how much they mean to me and how much they've helped me get to this point in my career. And once again, I really appreciate this honor. It's truly humbling, and I want to thank everybody that was involved with the nomination. Just to be nominated is award enough, but to have actually won is amazing. Just a thrilling feel. And Wayne, I think that concludes what I have to say. Thank you again.
RJ, thank you, and once again, congratulations. The highest honor the Society of Broadcast Engineers can bestow is that of the membership rank of Fellow. It is in recognition of conspicuous service, dedication, and valuable contributions to the advancement of broadcast engineering over an extended period of time. Since 1970, 85 members of the Society have recognized by the ascension to the Fellow grade, and we are pleased to add 2 more members to that group tonight. Both possess and regularly demonstrate the skill, the attitude, the professionalism, and the dedication to broadcast engineering that are benchmarks of an SBE Fellow. I'd like to mention that we're also pleased to host a virtual reunion of the SBE Fellows this afternoon. A number of them are joining us tonight to help welcome our newest SBE Fellows. Our first recipient is Ralph Beaver, CBT. Ralph originally joined the SBE in 1975. He moved to Tampa, Florida in 1973 and has been an active member of Chapter 39, Tampa Bay area for many years. His work with the chapter includes its annual Broadcast Engineering Symposium. He served on the SBE National Board of Directors from 2002 through 2012, chairing the Emergency Alert System Committee for 1 year before chairing the SBE Frequency Coordination Committee for 10 years. He has worked extensively with the SBE NFL Game Day Coordination Program from 1999 through 2008. He served as the Tampa Game Day Coordinator and the Super Bowl Frequency Coordinator throughout those years. Ralph was named manager of the NFL Game Day Coordination Program in 2011 by the NFL, now known as the NFL Event Frequency Coordination, a position he still holds. Ralph is CEO of Media Alert LLC, a company he founded in 1994 that provides a news conduit service between local media and the public information officers within a 10-county area of West Central Florida. Nominations cite Ralph's expertise on ES alerting, his efforts working with the state of Florida to create the state's child abduction alert system, and his extensive work with frequency coordination, spectrum allocations, and spectrum compatibility studies. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to bestow the SBE Fellow Grade of Membership upon Ralph Beaver, CBT of Tampa, Florida. Ralph, we welcome your remarks and acceptance of your award.
Color me as a surprised and flabbergasted SBE Fellow. Accolades of this nature are even sweeter when you don't expect them, and this bestowed merit was indeed a surprise to me. I'm honored to be among the company of other SBE Fellows. In the broadcast industry, we engineers generally stay in the background and keep our transmitters on the air. We typically do not strive to win awards. As a small child, I would lay awake watching flashing tower lights from a radio station about a mile away. And I mentioned to my parents about my fascination and this concept called broadcasting. One Christmas, Santa brought me a crystal radio kit, and my career in broadcasting officially began. It was a real thrill to tune that little crystal toy around and hear broadcasts from many places beyond my hometown. After passing the FCC test for a first-class radio telephone license, I went to work for that radio station, and maintaining those tower lights became part of my job. What a thrill. I found an occupation I absolutely loved. Never worked a day in my life, always went to work to play. Synergy, my favorite word. Synergy, the interaction of two or more to produce a combined effect greater than the sum of their separate efforts. It is in this spirit of synergistic efforts which dictated my career path. Synergy is also a group of people working together for a better common goal. Sounds like SBE, doesn't it? Several great broadcast companies have asked me to help them with their broadcast properties. I quickly realized this was going to be a task larger than I could accomplish alone. Many fine people have helped me succeed in the broadcast engineer field. Most of my formal training has been from mentors in our industry. That is one reason I urge all of you to mentor someone who displays an interest in our field. It will be richly rewarding for both of you. I speak from experience. Again, I deeply appreciate this accolade. And Wayne, I am proud to be an SBE Fellow.
Thank you, Ralph. Congratulations once again, and we're proud to have you as a fellow with the SBE. Our second recipient tonight is Jim Leifer, CPBE. Jim has been a member of the SBE since 1986. He is the Senior Manager of Broadcast Operations for American Tower Corporation and is based in the Boston area. His broadcast career began in South Florida, where from 1987 to 2017, he handled engineering responsibilities for various broadcasting groups, including Paxton, ION, and iHeartMedia. In 2017, he moved to the Boston area to join American Tower to take on his current role. Jim's activities began with Chapter 53 in South Florida. He has served as the chapter chair from 2008 to 2012. In 2009, he was elected to a seat on the National SBE Board of Directors for one term, then elected secretary in 2011 for 4 terms. He was the vice president for 2 terms before serving as the 30th national president of the SBE from 2017 to 2019. Jim continues to serve on the SBE board of directors as the immediate past president. Among the accomplishments during his presidential terms included establishing the strategic plan with the board in 2018 and instituting the SBE Member Plus program. He has been serving this year on the SBE Executive Director Search Committee. One nomination noted that Jim is brilliant in the area of technical regulatory advocacy work and involving the FCC. Nominators also commented on his talent, competency, and technical abilities as a broadcast engineer. They note that he goes beyond the technical duties of the project with his willingness to help in any way he can. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to bestow the SBE Fellow Grade of Membership upon James E. Leifer, CPB of Boston.
Thanks, Wayne. I'd like to thank all the board for honoring me by giving me this award. Being made a fellow of the SBE is truly the highest award any broadcast engineer could receive, and I'm very humbled by that. There are some people I'd like to thank in the process of this. First, I'd like to thank the board. I'd like to thank John Perret for all of his guidance all these years, as I've done many different things with the board, serving on all the different committees and serving as your president a few years ago. I'd like to thank my wife and my family for allowing me the time to dedicate to this, and all the work that it takes to be a broadcast engineer in today's world. There's so many coworkers, bosses, and people that I'd like to thank. But if I go back to the first person, I would have to say I'd have to thank a guy named Rick, who got me into the business a long time ago when I was still in college. And he told me he would ruin my life by bringing me into the business. So I fast forward a few decades, and I'm still having a good time. I'm still enjoying it. And I'm very grateful for everybody that has shared experiences with me, shared training people, and shared just all their life experiences about broadcast engineering and all the different things that we've done. I'm truly humbled by all this. I accept the award. Thank you very much. And with that, I'll send it back to Wayne.
All right. Thank you, Jim, and congratulations on your elevation to an SBE fellow. And also, congratulations once again to Ralph as well as Jim. Well, this brings us to a close for our 56th SBE annual meeting and national awards presentation. I sincerely thank each of you for attending this evening, and I hope you will plan to be with us again next year when we return for the 57th SBE national meeting. I want to pay particularly thanks to our sponsors whose support make this program possible, and those who have contributed their time and talents to produce this program. I offer a special thank you to my employer, Texas A&M University, for providing the use of the facilities of KAMU-TV and FM in College Station, the public radio and TV stations operated by Texas A&M. And also a sincere thanks to my colleagues that are staffing the various behind-the-scene roles tonight, and a special thanks to a group of our student production assistants that are staffing positions as well. Again, thanks to everyone, and good night.
The 2020 SBE National Membership Meeting and Awards presentation. This webcast is brought to you by the generous financial support of these SBE sustaining members. Blackmagic Design, leading the creative video revolution. Comark. Comark provides DTV transmitters, encoding, and integration for ATSC 3.0. Dielectric. Trusted for decades, ready for tomorrow. JamPro, when you want more than just an antenna. Catron, unique experience, individual solutions, reliable performance. Multicam Systems, easy to use, ready to produce. Shively, supporting FM broadcasters for more than 50 years.